what are you guys doing to generate business on Facebook? And I'll let anybody jump on that one. How are we using Facebook to get business?
Gosh.
Go
I'm sorry.
ahead. No.
Right now, what I've been using Facebook for is mainly listening. I'm on Facebook quite a bit during the day. Usually it's anytime in the morning, right after lunch, and then right after dinner. But usually it's I listen to people. I'm sitting there liking what they post about. I try to get after my friends that I haven't talked to in a while, the outer circle of my COI. But I'm mainly just listening to what's going on in their life, and then all of a sudden they start liking the stuff I like, and then right then and there they're like, oh my gosh, Mike, you're having a great year in real estate. I know somebody, I just referred them over to you. Bam.
I agree with you, and that's like seconding my opinion, but one of the ways I listen is I create lists. So lists are very important in Facebook because it's a time saver. Instead of spending all day on there trying to catch who has said just what so that you can comment on what they said and show them that you care, if you create lists, it's easy. You can just go in and see all your clients, your prospective clients, maybe listen to a few of their realtors or not, and you have the list that way to be able to do it.
So when you say list, how is it set up? Is it
When you
on a certain side?
When you go into Facebook and you have your friends, you can click on your friends and you can go there and there's a place where you can create a list. And you can call them whenever you want. As long as they're not considered one of the top three, which would be a relative or a spouse, they don't know what you're calling them. So I have clients, I have inside real estate agents, I have outside real estate agents, I have people I don't want to have anything to do with.
It's basically just a group. So when you say list, it's just you're putting them into a category based on, I do it based on how I know them. And so a lot of times if I go to a networking event, I will just put them in a list based on whatever networking event I go to. And also, that's also how I group people in my cell phone. So when people call me and I met you here at Keller Williams, it will say Keller Williams Northland and your name, so that I know when I picking up the phone, I know how I know that person. But it's also an easy way to click on that group and only see what those people are doing. So if today you only want to talk to your clients, or you just have a quick minute, want to find out what your clients are doing, or you want to find out what your family's doing instead of what your clients are doing, it's a very quick way of just saying, these people are doing this right now. And the way that I use Facebook to generate business is not only listening, which is important, because listening and finding out what's going on in people's world is really important, but I don't know which one of the ladies, we had a little chat earlier, said they don't know how important they are to you until you make them important. So not only listening, but you have to get out there and tell them that you're listening. And so posting on their pages, letting them know that you see whatever they're doing and that that has a connection to you. If somebody had a new baby, or somebody had a success in their life, commenting on those things, or if somebody's having drama in their life, commenting something positive to them is another way to just keep in touch with people.
I use it for everything. I mean, I do. I use it a lot I use it for work, but I use it for my personal life too. And I feel like most of the people that I'm communicating with, even if I don't know them, maybe it's somebody that my husband has met, they feel like they know me. They know who my kids are. They know who my dogs are. They know where I ate lunch. I would be considered a classic overposter. You'll find people all the time that will say, I don't want to see what somebody ate for lunch. And my post to that would be, well, I do want to see what you ate for lunch. So let's see a picture, you know? And again, I do. I use it for everything, just to get out there and be myself and have a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people. The people that you do meet, you do know when something's going on with them. So you'll see somebody say, oh my gosh, I've got water in my basement, and you can send them a message, hey, here's somebody that can take care of that for you. So it's just a great way to stay in touch with so many people.
And I think you can take the pulse of whether you're open posting or not by the response you receive.
Yes.
If you're posting all day long and you're getting 2 likes and no comments, you're probably over posting. But if you get 50 likes and you just create a thread beneath it that has 20 comments, you're onto something. You may want to repeat that type of mindset, that type of behavior. But if you're just posting something and you go back and look at it later and no one's commented on it, you might want to think about it. It's a learning lesson. Okay, that didn't work. I don't like to post anything that doesn't generate at least 50 likes and 15 comments. If I get that type of response, I will stay away from that subject matter again. Now that's just me, because I don't post as frequently as Angela does. But
I'm an
Angela,
overposter, I will post that.
right, and that's fine. But you want that, you want, take a pulse of what people like and don't like and what's engaging them and what's not engaging them. Like Angela's so charismatic and she's so humble with it, she'll make fun of herself, her family, and everything in a very funny way that it just generates a lot of response. And I'm not that creative, to be honest.
One of the things Angela does that I like is she mixes a little business with pleasure. Because what we don't want to do is be on there posting our open houses and our listings. But it's okay to post your open houses and your listings and your calendar drop off if your little girl is dancing down the driveway or you're serving martinis.
Yeah, why don't we elaborate on that? Let's talk about how some realtors misuse Facebook.
Oh my goodness. Anytime you sit there and that I have friends that do it. They sit there and say, "Hey, just wrote 4 offers, got 3 under contract, going out for more." Anytime I see that, it just makes me want to hide you. Clients are the same way. They don't want to hear that because you know what? They might have had something bad happen today, and they either got fired, got laid off. They don't want to hear how good business is going for you. They want to see the funny stuff, the keep away signs at some of the houses you walk into. They want to see the funny stuff, not the wrote 4 contracts today. That's the worst, I think.
Doctors don't say, I did 4 surgeries today and saved 5 lives, You'd want to, we definitely don't want people plugging that either.
That 80% of that.
But you can easily share your successes in a totally different way. One of the things I love to do is when I show properties, we see just incredibly crazy things when you show properties. So taking pictures of it, because a picture is going to say 1,000 things that you can't. But I like to take pictures of bugs because people freak out about them and they comment on them all the time. So you want 50 likes or something.
Yeah.
Take a picture of a giant spider that you saw in a vacant house and people will comment on it. But that shows obviously that I'm out showing properties. It shows that I'm actively selling real estate because you don't just, people don't think that you're just out there by yourself. But you're doing something interactive for them to comment on that's a lot more fun than saying, I showed 5 properties today. That's not exciting to them.
Right, if there's a way you can weave in the fact, hey, I'm showing property, look, I fell over the front doorstep, or wait, there's a crazy room in here, or just somehow you can actually bring value outside of the fact that you're not spamming your clients.
You got a picture of a seller who has tried and waited and struggled. I mean, she had a hardship and now she finally was able to sell her house and be free of that house, and you take a picture of her, and that is a success story for the client. So it kind of reflects on you, but the client is the focus of that.
So no links to listings, or limited amount of links to listings, links to open houses, just...
Well, if you have a new listing, don't click on my website to see more photos. Take a really cool photo and say, this is at my new listing, Do you know anybody that wants this really cool kitchen? Or have you ever seen a kitchen like this? Or look at this amazing garden that these people have. That's important for people to see, not the link, go find out more about this house,
It's like a blog post.
The one I've seen a lot is, what is it, Circle Pics, or the link to your new listing from the MLS. So even if someone clicks on it, you're not tracking them. That's another battle.
Realtors.com.
Talk about some of the, we all got together and talked about this too, about some real big do not do's if you're anticipating getting business from Facebook, and some of the people that you're connected to are your clients.
Don't talk politics or religion. I mean, stay a little neutral. I mean, it's a business rule, right?
Absolutely. If that's something we see a lot of, and people, especially like a rant about one way or the other. This is one that I'll always say. Okay, our presidential election, like it or not, was one of the largest landslide victories in the history, and that landslide victory was a winning margin of 54%. Which meant 46% voted the other way. If you get on a rant one way or the other about politics on Facebook, you are taking your friend database and cutting them in half. Because not only do they not like you anymore, they don't want to work with you anymore, and if you, even Christian, Jewish, religion, if you come out one way too hard one way on any political issue, understand you're in the public arena now. You can feel that way, you can talk that way with your friends, but you're out there. If you're using Facebook as business, and these are people you want to do business with, you can harshly offend a large percentage of them if we go religion and politics and get too non-diplomatic with our personal beliefs out there.
And that's clients and agents, because I'm sure we all know agents too that were like, oh my gosh, there they go again when they're going on their rant about something political. But I mean, I feel like I'm open enough that sometimes I make the mistake of diving into an area where I shouldn't too, and you know, that's what the little delete button is for. You can go back and delete that.
We've all made those mistakes. I've certainly made those mistakes. It was like,
The other thing to do is, everybody has bad days, but we don't need to see it on Facebook. Like sometimes I am hiding people because they have so many bad days, it just makes me sad for them. And there is nothing I can do to help them because their bad days are like really bad days. And as a realtor or being just a business person, you don't want people to know about your bad days. I mean, they need to know that when they're going to call you, they're going to catch you on a good day. You know, because they may be having a bad day.
who's had to hide their family? Who's had to hide their family?
Yeah, you can block
I
people
most
too. Yeah, you can block people from posting on your wall or things, and if you start having problems with, you know, somebody, that's a suggestion too, because you don't want them on there doing that.
And they don't know that you hide them.
Right.
And if you ever want them back, you don't have to refriend them, which is
Right.
kind of embarrassing. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, weren't we already friends? No, you just unhide them. So it's really very non-invasive, but at the same time, sometimes, especially during political season,
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to hide people.
I think one thing that is a do not is a lot of times we want to post a lot more about real estate. Keep the post down to how often you're doing your real estate posts. It needs to be, a lot of us talked 1 to 5, 1 to 6 ratios on how often you're posting about real estate. Because a lot of times your friends already know you're in real estate. You're just trying to keep frontline awareness of, hey guys, call Mike or call Nicole or call Amber. They know somebody. So you're just wanting the front awareness that, hey, I'm doing this right. But if you're posting 2-3 times a day, hey, I'm a realtor, you're gonna lose friends quick.
But at the same time, if you're only posting once a day, it should definitely not be about real estate, because the point of Facebook is to be social. It's called a social network, so be social. It is not called a business platform, okay? And so what
Stalker platform.
I believe it is that. I do an awful lot of stalking.
The minute I meet somebody, you know, I'm back at the office and I'm looking them up on Facebook because, one, you can find out where they work. That's right, I want to know what they had for lunch, where they like it. I want to know who their friends are because I probably have common friends. I've had people call me about a house, find out their name, look them up, find out that they know 4 people that I've sold a house to. That's huge, you know, and again, just making those connections with people.
A lot of these mistakes, though, I've learned just through error, doing them myself. So, if you are going to stalk them, don't say, "Hey, I was looking at your Facebook and saw you like this." I've done that. Make it a little weird. I don't know why. But find a way in the conversation. If it's a listing appointment, find a way to talk about where you like to vacation. So you saw they went to Cancun. Find a way. Hey, I'm thinking about traveling. Do you know anywhere? I was thinking about, Mexico. Have you been to Mexico or anything?
If I've said it before, and I'll say it again because it's really truly how I feel. If I find out a client is not on Facebook, I cry in my heart.
She says it all the
I
time.
cry because here is why. Here's why. I can send out the mailings. I can call them on the phone every now and again. I can email them, but I am not going to know the minute that their mom died. I'm not going to know that they're getting married and having a baby and maybe need to move. I'm not going to know all those things like I do on Facebook. And so that's why I think it's just as much as important as we post every now and again on there, we also go in there and find out about them and post on them. Probably more so than we should post, right?
Right. I have a 5-a-day rule. So I contact at least 5 people every single day. And in a year, that adds up to a lot of people that I'm talking to. But the other thing about posting on other people's pages is Facebook only thinks you're important if you're commenting and making connections with people. So if I'm friends with these 3 and I never comment and they never comment on me, Facebook is not going to share what they're doing. They're going to take these 5 people that I talk to all the time and they're going to tell me what those 5 people are doing all the time. And so if I randomly am posting on everybody's page every so often, you start to see a much different Facebook. You know, when you go on there and you're like, I only see 5 people's stuff all the time. They're either like us, we post a million times. My grandma thought for the longest time that her Facebook was broken because all she ever saw was my stuff. She's like, I don't know, I have friends, but I never see their stuff. And like, well, you probably should hide me, Grandma. So, and it's probably better because of the things I post. But when you comment on other people's stuff, it makes you relevant in the Facebook world. So it's super important.
And they're going to show up on your list because you went to their wall.
Yeah.
So if you want to get rid of all the realtors that you listen to all day and are tired of them posting their listings, the way to do it is to go to your client's wall and post on there. Now your clients are going to start showing up.
Do you see why it's so important to have them grouped in lists? And the way you do that is you click on the friend button when you accept them or they accept you, and it says edit. Was it edit to lists? Something like that?
Add it.
Add to friend
Add to
list.
list.
And you can move them in 3 or 4 different lists. I have Kansas City Real Estate, Keller Williams, California, friends, family, I've got them all, so that I can scan the different lists and make sure I comment on all of them, or my news feed is going to have the same 15 people.
And we were talking about how overwhelming that can be, and this is how I do it. If I'm commenting on their post, or if I make a comment, or if I have any sort of connection, or I even like what they're doing on Facebook, I immediately change and add them to a friend list. So when I have like 50, 60 friend lists, different things that's going on. And so if it's their birthday, I update how we're friends. If it's, I commented on their photo, I update when we're friends. You don't have to go in there, and if you have 500 friends or 1,000 friends, like that's super overwhelming, do one at a time. If you're making 5 comments a day, you're updating 5 contacts a day, and then it's just gonna come over time that you're gonna get in there and you're like, oh, I've already done that. Maybe I should comment on somebody else's today. You know, because that's how I've been thinking.
No, she
and the way
had
you find
mentioned
is
that
the
you
list.
should do what you love to, do what you love, do what feels comfortable to you, and some people don't like Facebook, and if you don't like Facebook, then you probably shouldn't be on Facebook, but if you do love it, it can be an amazing tool, because I can tell you that I don't even have any lists, but I absolutely have more people contact me through Facebook than through email, than through phone calls, than through text messages. On any given day, if I had to give up one thing, the very last thing I would give up would be Facebook. And it shows up on my phone when they text me, and it shows up, you know, and again, I get pictures and I get all of that. So for me, it's just something that I love, and it's a way for me to stay in touch and see my friends' kids at their dance recital or whatever, and it works.
Agreed. The one thing I want to touch on that we haven't is the importance of actually generating business and a clientele through groups. And this is different. Sarah, would you mind explaining the difference between a personal page, a list, a group?
So there are 3 technical terms, if you want to call them, in Facebook. You have your personal profile, and I call that your me page. Okay, that's the easiest way. It's your personal profile. It's everything about you. It's your wall. Then you have a business page, and that's everything about your business. But it also should have a mix of a little personal on it. And so it's kind of the opposite of your profile page, your me page. And then you have groups, which are typically more centered on actual, like, more one-on-one conversations with people, whereas a business page is like an advertisement of this is my business. This is like a corporate page is what I call it. And a group is more like a personal connection. The groups are not so great for business unless it's like a referral thing.
Oh, I totally disagree.
And then you can. And then like a business page is more like you're feeding it, and it's like an advertisement of like you're throwing things out there.
How can we use Mike? How can we use a group for business?
Neighborhood pages, group pages.
Farming.
I hope you guys are all on your neighborhood page. I'm on mine, and I'm sitting there. I stalk that more than I do in my Facebook.
So this is really good if you're like geographically farming.
Yep.
If
Yes.
you are not geographically farming and you're not going to put the effort into it, don't even think about doing it. Because if you're not going to do it right, it's not going to be successful. And you're asking for business. If you're not feeding that, and if you're not adding people to it, and you don't have a way of getting those people's contact information into Facebook, you're going to be like, that makes no sense to do it. And it's going to be time consuming.
What do you do on there, Mike? What do you do?
Well,
Lake
it's-
Wacomas, what do you do on
Oh,
there?
Lake Wacomas. I sit there and post what's going on in the lake. Like right now, we have the lake filling up. So I'm either sitting there posting a picture of the lake filling up, sitting there liking, but a lot of time at the lake, there might be a person looking to for sale by owner. Hey guys, thinking about putting my house on the market. What do I do? I sit there, I can't tell you guys my secrets. No, but for your own neighborhoods, sit there and say, hey, you know, I'm the neighborhood expert. How can I help you? Can I just come through your house? I have clients looking to move here. I have friends that's...
But how are you adding people to that group?
Oh, it's a lot of times at Lake Walcomas, I'm part of the men's club. So it's we hear about the new people that are moving on, so I get on there and add them in. If I have clients that are looking to move in, I add those people in. So they just start seeing what's going on in the neighborhood garage sales. Add people to them.
Purposely add them at open houses.
Yep.
Purposely provide value, hyper-local value to that neighborhood. Hey, there's a 4th of July festival in the park this weekend. Hey, there's a neighborhood watch. We had somebody that saw a burglar. You make it of value to them by providing local neighborhood news. Hey, we got Google Fiber. We just made our criteria for Google Fiber. Hey, I just heard Google Fiber is coming October 12th to our neighborhood. Hey, I heard the pool opens this weekend at noon. It becomes a community bulletin board. They'll all start using it. Then as you see people, show them on their phone. Let me have your phone. Here it is, you're on there, you're gonna love this.
And I think whether it's a business page or a personal page or a page that you've created, like I've got a page for my dogs. I love my dogs, and they're Norm and Millie. And they've got their own Facebook page, and last weekend I was out in one of my houses, and I was showing it to some people, and they knew my name, they had called me, I showed up, didn't know them from anybody, went through, she mentioned her dog, I mentioned mine, I said, oh yeah, they've got their own Facebook page, Norm and Millie. And within 2 hours, she had liked my Norm and Millie page and had written me a personal note on there. So it's just, again, a way to connect with people with things that you like, whether it's motorcycles, whether it's boating, whether it's running, whether it's dogs.
Well, you have to have a passion for it. Like, I wouldn't have a page about Lake Walcomas because I know nothing about it. I don't live there. I don't go there. You know, I would just sell houses there. So you have to have a passion for that neighborhood. You have to be putting effort into it. Like, if you're not farming that neighborhood, it doesn't make sense to have 100 of these. You know, you don't want 100 neighborhood pages. You want one really great one, or like 5 if you're farming 5 areas.
Right.
You have a dog that you're really obsessed with, like that's awesome. That's awesome too. I think that's super hilarious. I would almost like it too, just because I would think it was funny what she's posting.
One thing you
know?
don't do with the neighborhood page is just create it and post open houses and new
Or
listings that come up in
listings,
there.
yeah.
Once again, you're spamming. No one will like it. Almost every neighborhood has 10 neighborhood pages by different realtors, and no one's on it and no one's using it because that has no utility to them. It's
They
just
can
like
find
when you
that
do a
online.
33 touch, we come from contribution. They don't want to go to your open house. They don't want to know about your new listing. They want to know about things they want to know about to live their life. So tell them when events happen in there. Andrea.
To add value to a neighborhood page, adding an RSS feed of the city, so like Lake Walcomas would have but the school district information, and if the city has any information, that adds content without you having to have your hands on it.
So there's lots of resources you can access by going to it, treating it almost like a neighborhood web page.
There's a vendors list. A vendors list helps tremendously. There's so many people. Guys, I don't know where to get the best internet from. Who all do you guys use? Check the vendors list. We actually use AT&T or Time Warner around here, not really. But yeah, it's the vendors list side of it. It works perfectly. Anytime someone's like, guys, need a landscaper, who do you guys use? Perfect time to start throwing out vendors.
One of the things you were saying earlier was that you post a lot of events just in the city on your, and I like that, because like if you were saying, it's First Friday at the West Bottoms, don't forget, that kind of stuff, it makes you seem, I like that she does that, it makes you seem like you're the expert of choice of Kansas City.
Yep. Even if you're at the flippin' Royals game, it's the 5th inning, and you tell me the score's 5-1, I'm so excited. You gave me news, the Royals are in town, the score's 5-1, it's the 6th inning. I may care, I may turn on the TV to watch it. Talk about the ways that you want to be of contribution. I know Sarah does this very well, I know a lot of you do too. Things going on, even if you don't go to them. If there's the jazz fest, I mean, Parkville's getting ready to have their big jazz. Man, if I live in Parkville and I do business in Parkville, I'd be letting people know, here it is, here's the times.
People always say I come up with the most interesting things. Pitch is my favorite. If you ever go on like the pitch.com website, like they have the most interesting events and they have so many listings. I mean, you go on and find out what's going on today. There's probably 100 things. You can pick one interesting thing and post it. You don't even have to go. You're just giving the value information, and if you go, then take a picture of it. Tell people you went, because like her, people know me from all over the country, and they think that I have like this super interesting life that I don't actually go to most of the things I talk about. I just post that they exist, and I think they're fun, and most of the time I'm posting to see if somebody wants to go with me. But referrals is another way. We talked about generating business. That's a way to like get to know people and you feel like you know them. Like I just referred somebody to Florida because I follow her page. She's always providing good information, and I had a connection where I saw somebody else post something that they needed a realtor in Florida. I don't know that realtor and I don't know the Florida realtor, but I love what she does and I feel like I have that knowledge of who she is, even though I've never met the woman. And she was so grateful that I had found that linked these two. That was amazing. Did I get anything out of that? I didn't get a referral from anybody. But the next time she hears anybody wanting to buy a house in Kansas City or California, they're going to be, she's going to make sure she calls me and says, hey, can you help these people?
My husband was in the military, as many people know. He was a career military guy, so we lived all over, and I'm not from here. I grew up in Idaho, and it's amazing how much business I get just from that, because I got military friends. They're going to get relocated. They're going to post, we're moving to Georgia, and I'm like sending them a message, hey, you're moving to Georgia. Do you have a real estate agent? Do you need to sell your house? Do you need me to help you connect there in Georgia?
I get it all the time because I stay in contact with everybody that I know and I've met, and people love to refer you out. They just love to say they know somebody in Kansas City, and then they'll just say, hey, and I've sold real estate in a long time, but yet they want to say they want to fill that void. Oh, you're going to Kansas City, you should call him. Here's his number. Next thing you know, I've got a direct message or a phone call or something. They do it with everybody, so let everybody know where you are. Connect with everybody on
With
there.
those events, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be time intensive. Like you don't want to think, oh gosh, I need to know what's going on in Kansas City so that I can sit. Because again, if you're friends with Zona Rosa and you're friends with Briarcliff Village and you're friends with the Country Club Plaza, they make posts. They show up in your feed and all you do is share movie at Briarcliff Village tonight. And people will go, are you going? Well, maybe if you are.
It's one of the main reasons people use Twitter is for Facebook. They follow a bunch of local things on Twitter, which provides endless vomiting of content at you all day long, and you can share it right up to Facebook very, very easy, or many other social media channels where you actually cross-post to get that content. And if you're following local things, Kansas City and local areas there, you're going to get endless content to share and provide contribution for free, very easy, very fast. We make a lot of touches and contacts at once. It's a way to supplement your 33-touch system where you're staying in the front of mind so easily.
And there are a million Facebook referral groups. So you can just go on Facebook and just write in referral groups or real estate referral groups and start joining some of them. Because again, even if they're not sending referrals to Kansas City or whatever, you can be passing out referrals, which will make that connection of people knowing you. My team leader, Lori, Lisa's worse. Lisa is absolutely constantly, never gets off Facebook. I swear if I got on there, she'd be on there right now. Our entire business is run through Facebook. Like, I have team members in California, New York, North Carolina, all over the place, and we never get off Facebook. Like right now I'm having Facebook anxiety because I'm not on it right now. And that's a real thing. But she passes out so many referrals that before I can even get a North Carolina referral, 5 people have already said Lisa. Like if anybody is saying North Carolina anywhere in the entire state or anywhere near it, they're commenting, contact Lisa Archer. And that's because she gives so many referrals. She doesn't ask for anything in return. She doesn't say, give me part of your referral. But when that check shows up because you gave out a referral, that is an amazing thing. Like, just to get a check. I mean, I got an $1,100 check the other day. All I did was say, hey, my girlfriend's moving to Minnesota. And the guy sold her a property. I mean, that's an amazing check. That's like better than profit share. Because it's bigger and quicker, but I mean, honestly and truthfully, a referral check is amazing, and so that's another way just do nothing and make money.
All right, we better wrap this up. This is awesome for these guys to get up here and share all their truths, so they give them a big old round of applause.